President and Vice President-elect day begins. It's 6:52. Let's just get right into the K-Wave News. Zoomer, we have standing by our friend Shawn Gumataotao and our gangs, Sarah Thomas Nededog. Sarah, of course, the Democratic Party chair. Look at that smile this morning.
Hey.
Shawn is not so much.
What you got, Shawn?
I'm just minding my own business over here, man. What are you talking about?
You feel attacked already, buddy? I just kind of brought him on here to unpack this crazy weekend with the presidential election. Bree?
Yeah, it was crazy. You know, my TV, I sleep with it on just in the event when I wake up in the middle of the night so I could see what the results are. And I was really surprised when they already projected, when they projected Biden had won. And then, of course, I couldn't go back to sleep because I wanted to watch everything else afterwards. Watch the victory speeches. So, and my son has been watching this stuff like crazy, and I had to wake him up. Baby, you missed it. And he was just so over it already. He was so tired. He didn't want to wake up. But as soon as he did, he got to catch the victory speeches. So he was excited.
All right, Sarah, I bet you were pretty excited too.
Yes, I got calls at 3 o'clock in the morning, I think. But first of all, Hafa and Buenas. Chris and Sabrina and Shawn and everyone. First and foremost, I'm always happy that we're all healthy and safe, right? That's first and foremost. But yes, the elections this weekend was just, I don't know what to say except for, of course, we're excited at the final outcome. And, like I said, I got called at 3 o'clock in the morning, I think it was. And as you, Sabrina, and I think many of us, we had our phones and our TVs on all night long, just wondering, like, where is this going to go? And so, interestingly, the electoral votes for President Trump stayed at 214 for a long time. And then, slowly we saw the increases over at the Biden-Harris team, to the point where I think the last time I saw it was about, is it 290 now? Yeah. I think that's the last time I saw it yesterday.
Right.
There's still electoral votes out there, but not enough to carry Trump into a successful re-election. So it was, as they said, nail biting to the end.
Right. Yeah. Was there ever a point there, because I think a lot of people were surprised when Trump beat Hillary 4 years ago, but was there a point there, Sarah, where you maybe thought that it was going to be Trump?
I don't think I got to that point where I felt like that defeat was coming.
Right.
I was, of course, I will never say I know the American electorate. I don't. But I was encouraged when I saw the electoral votes just continue to slowly move up for Biden and stay pretty much the same for for really the remainder of the evening at 214. So it was a 20-30 point difference. Vote difference with the Electoral College throughout the night, and then it just got a larger, the gap just widened more and more.
Right.
So,
Shawn, let's take it over to you, because I know 4 years ago a lot of my Democrat friends were hating on the Electoral College, but this election, no problems with it at all.
One thing over the weekend I wanted to share with you guys is that if I can recall, back in 2000, Sabrina and I were at the news desk for 37 days reporting on what was happening in Florida relative to the election then. So as I over the weekend, I still have bags under my eyes thinking about just what we did on Tuesday and what we can expect for the next couple of days ahead. Now, yeah, we can admit that there was clearly, votes in difference between Vice President Biden and the current president. But media, and I keep, everywhere I'm reading, it just reminded that, the media doesn't decide elections. It's the states and the electoral college who at the end of the day will call the election for one or the other. Yeah, right now Joe Biden's in the lead, but we still got a long way to go. And I know everyone's in a rush. They want to see this change. They want to see some, absolute difference in the way that America is led. But there's a process. It's like here, we all waited until the election commission was done. So I think we all, as a country, should wait and let the states finish their work, let the courts do what they have to do what they, as well with the campaigns, and then we can move on. And that's pretty much where I'm at today. I'm a little tired, but I'm just reminded of 2000, in the year 2000, when I sat with Sabrina, we were there reporting for 37 days about that Florida race.
Sarah, so do you agree with Shawn? Is it over or is it not over?
I agree in terms of let's respect the process. Let's go through the process. I don't think anybody wants to win an election with something over their head like, well, is it really true? Is it really real? Was there things going on? No, I think it's going to come out just fine. And I think it's still going to be a Democratic win, but please, let's go through the process. I'm good with that. I think that's an important thing. We have to make sure that there was truly a fair election all the way around in all the states and in the electoral college. So I'm just fine waiting if we need to make sure that that happens. But at the end, I'm still very confident that it'll be a Biden-Harris win.
Shawn, I saw something you had put on Twitter about no mandate with these results here in the presidential election.
Yeah, when we think of mandate, we think of large gaps. We think of there was an election that was won by such a huge margin. And in the case of the presidential elections, that really wasn't the case. It was somewhere close to maybe around a 2% gap between the two overall. And so when we think of mandates, and between the House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, the Vice President on Saturday, when he said we have a mandate, he was probably better off not saying a word going into the celebration that they had in Delaware last night. So I mean, it just was kind of driving me a little crazy. Mandate is reserved for when there was such a large margin. Remember, there's 70 million Americans who voted for President Trump. So where does Vice President Biden, the president-elect, where is he going to govern from? He definitely cannot forget the 70 million people who voted for the Republican candidate. So somewhere in the middle might be a little bit more safer for him, but using the word mandate is just a bit much.
Sarah?
Well, I'm not sure. I think that's I don't know if that's a significant observation, but I thank you for saying that, Shawn. But the Biden received the most votes that any president has received. So that's pretty, I think that's something that's notable. And also, there were more voters that came out than ever. So that's a really good thing for America, because I was concerned that there was going to be a low voter turnout, but in the end, it turned out like a lot of people came out and voted. And of course, both sides, Democrats and Republicans, can say, well, the big turnout was because people wanted Trump out, or people wanted Biden not to win, perhaps. But the bottom line was that he really did get a significant number of the popular votes, and far leading in the electoral college. So that's where we're at right now. And we'll see at the end, like we've been talking about, let's go through the process. Let's go through all the scrutiny, all the court cases that are being brought forward. And ultimately, we're going to see, as I said, I'm very confident, a Democratic Biden-Harris win.
You know, there was some estimates that the presidential election had a 72.1% voter turnout, which
Wow.
Is much higher than what President Obama was elected into office in. It was around 69%. The last time there was a 72% voter turnout for a presidential election goes back to 1900, when William Harrison was elected for a second term as president, following, which was only the second man in the history of the U.S. presidency after Ulysses S. Grant. So that's a reconstruction going way back then that was elected at that margin. So when to have, and it wasn't maybe in the 50s and 60s, or we started to see kind of that dipping of the voter turnout in America, but it's really been a long time. So credit and kudos to the American electorate for voting for president. I wish it was the same here as we were all talking about over election night, but it's still a significant number of Americans who voted. And again, 70 million people, we can't forget those people.
Damn, Shawn, you went all the way back to President Harrison.
I know. Wasn't there also a significant amount of people that voted absentee and mail-in ballots in this particular election because of the pandemic?
The COVID.
Yeah.
And if I may, you know, we've heard this repeatedly, and I really believe this very much. And Biden has said repeatedly, he will be a president of not just Democrats, but of Republicans and all Americans, because that's what it comes down to. And I believe that he will. I think he'll be fair, and I think he will be embracing all of the people in the United States, including us in the territories. And that's really big. We need to come into that fold and deal with our issues with the United States and get to a better place than we've been in the last few years. So I don't think it's about, you know, is he going to be a Democrat that's going to oust the Republicans? He's not. Biden is not going to oust. He's going to be there for all Americans. And if anybody on Guam feels alienated from that, we need to work on that, because I don't believe that that's true at all. So I think he's going to be president for everyone.
Let me ask you, Shawn, and then we'll end it with Sarah here. What about access? You know, we had the governor on to kick off our election night, and I'd asked her, I said, hey, if Biden wins, do you anticipate us having more access to the White House and the president? And the governor's response was, she's enjoyed a great deal of access in the Trump administration. She talked about having dinner at the White House, you know, all these high-level meetings. It's no secret that we enlisted the aid of the White House to pursue the war claims. And so I guess, Shawn, with a Democrat president, Democrat administration, Democrat majority in the legislature, do you anticipate more access or even more action on territorial issues for Guam?
As a former federal policy advisor for Governor Camacho, I will, in the transition between President Bush to Obama, the Obama administration did have quite gave us a bit of access. That is the truth. You know, I had a chance to work with the vice president during the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act, and in getting those monies to Guam. I mean, we see a lot of it in our schools today. Access for the governor of Guam, I believe that the governor will have, you know, and thanks in large part to her Washington representative in Madeline Bordallo, you can expect there'll be a lot more engagement. I mean, yes, President Trump did give quite a bit of support to both Governor Calvo and to Governor Leon Guerrero. But with a Biden administration, yes, we could expect, with the help of former Congressman and former Lieutenant Governor Bordallo, that they will see a lot more engagement. And I'm hoping that it's going to be a lot in, obviously, in support of coronavirus and in ways to help build the economy post-COVID and moving forward in this. Because as a small business owner, I'm concerned that there could be tax increases that would go back to small businesses like ours and really impact us. So I'm really hoping that they would get there and kind of tap that down for sure.
Sarah? Oh, go ahead.
No, so Sam also looking forward to seeing Kamala in action as the first female vice president.
Absolutely.
Right.
Go ahead, Sarah.
I think she's just a tremendous plus for the administration going forward. She's a lawyer. She's a person that, I think because of her cultural and ethnic background has increased sensitivity to us in the territories, being Southeast Asian and Jamaican. And I think that sensitivity is going to be another door. I think that, even if she wasn't, I think that she as a person she's awesome. And I think that she will be looking out for us. And you can believe that the Democratic Party of Guam is going to be as aggressive as we can to ensure representation in all the boards and councils, and who knows, maybe at the cabinet level, but we will be pushing our folks on Guam forward, and the best people. And I would encourage, there's actually a transition website that people can go to if they're interested in jobs at the higher level and being selected to be on boards and councils. So if there are people that are interested, they should get on and put their name in. As many applicants and nominees that we may have from Guam, Micronesia, and the Pacific is awesome. We want to have that representation. But I feel very, very excited and comfortable that they will reach out to us, they will connect with us, and that Vice President Harris is just a super, super bonus to this administration.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Shawn.
Thank you, guys. Now to get ready for my class. I appreciate your guys' time.
All right.
We'll
Okay.
see you on the 17th.
Yeah. Yeah, I will.
That's great. We'll be there.
Yeah, this election ain't quite over yet here. So, all right. See you, Sarah. See you, Shawn.
Take care.
All
Stay
right.
safe.
That's a whole other conversation.